are here for an initial permanency hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming, and Ms. Galvan is making our record. All right, so we'll take announcements.
On behalf of the state, Judge Gene Graff, and we are calling ready.
Savannah Kincaid, I represent Ms. Hiltz. As I said before, the data was turned off on her phone, and so I've given her a number with the code to call in, but I'm present and ready.
Bailey Sapien on behalf of the child, ready.
Okay, then Ms. Ongrini, I assume you're going to give us an update today?
Yes, ma'am. I have spoken with Ms. Hills this morning. She's got an issue with her phone and the data, but she told me that she is currently waiting on housing assistance. She is still in progress with parenting class. She hasn't complete. I believe it's going to be 16 sessions or 16 weeks, and she currently doing the virtual parenting class every Saturday. She has been drug screened once, and it was negative on illegal substance. I have not heard from Mr. Eric Engelbert. He's been not responding to my text or call. He did not show up for his what's that called? Paternity testing. And then, yeah, he's not responding at all. And baby Dustin is doing well in placement. Bonded with the foster parents, medical and dental is up to date. That's all I have.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kincaid.
I have nothing, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Sapien?
Thank you, Judge. I don't have any concerns about baby Dustin right now. He's doing great. Do you want me to make my recommendation?
Sure.
Okay, my recommendation is that his placement continue and that mom continue working services. I hope that we can get a DNA test done on Mr. Engelbert, but I don't have any concerns about Dustin at this point. He is getting his first tooth in, and he has learned to crawl, so he's doing really great in meeting his milestones.
All right, thank you. Okay, and Casa?
At this point, hello, Judge. At this point, our only concerns are that Dustin has been in care for 157 days with no permanency. Of course, as was already stated, that Mr. Engelbert continues to refuse to sign his family service plan, can't be located, those sorts of things that we've already mentioned. And of course, Ms. Hiltz maintaining safe, suitable housing for 6 months as ordered has not happened yet from what we've been able to gather from CASA or at CASA. Other than that, our recommendations that we continue to have his current placement. He's doing beautifully when I visit him. So that's all I've got from my standpoint as a CASA volunteer.
All right, thank you so much. Ms. King, did you have anything to add today?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Also, CASA, in visiting with the permanency specialist at St. Francis, we also want to take a look at collaborative family engagement meeting because we're not really locating and any other family members, so we want to delve a little bit deeper into that in the month of July.
Okay.
I also have been trying to send the finders diligent search to locate some of the family members from Ms. Hiltz, so for possible future placement. So I'm looking forward to hear from them this end of the week.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay, then I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I will continue the child's current placement. I would find that there'd be a continuing and ongoing danger to return the child home to either parent at this point in time. And that sounds like mother's essentially in compliance with services, but kind of she needs to get going a little faster on things. But I would say that she's in compliance. And of course, we expect the department to continue to use reasonable efforts to reunify the family. Our next hearing is scheduled for September 25th of 2024, and that's on a 9 o'clock docket. All right, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, can you tell me who you are, please?
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is Brenda
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hill.
Okay, Ms. Hiltz, we've completed your hearing. I would just suggest you contact your attorney. We were watching for you, but I didn't ever get you logged in time.
Okay, but
Nothing much remarkable occurred during your hearing, but I would just say call your attorney for an update.
I talk to my attorney, but one tells me 1 o'clock, one tells me, and so they need to get their stories right too.
Okay, well, Ms. Hiltz, I can't discuss any of that with you, but you need to just contact Ms. Kincaid. She was hoping that you were going to log in, and we were looking for you.
She tells me 1 o'clock, and then you have picking up. A whatever kid tells me different. I
Well-
only need one person to tell me what time the court is.
It was at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, but she tells me different. Then you have my lawyer tells me 1 o'clock. She needs to stay out of it.
Okay, well, just call your attorney. Okay, we had to make some changes on the docket today. Okay, she's gone. We are here today. All right, scheduled for our final. My understanding is the children have been returned home at this time. And so I think the department is just asking to continue to monitor for a while, which is typical. And my understanding is that maybe parents are asking for dismissal today. But nevertheless, my understanding is that we're going to make some kind of disposition, whether it be a monitored return or a dismissal today. Is that correct?
That's my understanding also, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then we are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We're live streaming, and Ms. Galvin is making our record today. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Todd Alvey on behalf of the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm present, ready to proceed, Your Honor. Tim Koval, St. Francis Ministries Permanency Specialist, will be the only witness I'll be calling, Your Honor.
Brooks Barfield, attorney for mother. She is present.
Aaron Mullinex, attorney for the father. He is also present. We're ready, Your Honor.
H. Seal, attorney at Latham, and I'm ready, Your Honor. I didn't hear that one.
Casey, you were really hard to hear.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Casey Lucario with Costa.
I know that we've got some folks that need to be other places here, in a short amount of time. Y'all want to handle this informally? Let me just try to get some information and decide, or y'all want to put on some testimony? What are we doing?
As one of those people that have to be in court in approximately 30 minutes, I think informally is great with me.
We're good with that also, Your Honor.
And I have to be in court before 30 minutes, so I'm okay with that too.
No objection from me, Judge.
Well, okay, so really, I mean, at this juncture, kids are home, which is great. And I would like to, of course, get a short report from Mr. Koval on how things are going. So I think that's the place to start. Mr. Koval, if you can just give us a quick update on how things have been. I think it's only been, a couple weeks?
Yes, Judge. 2 weeks ago today was when we placed the children with the parents. We came to the apartment a week ago for the first monitoring visit, and everything was fine, no issues. We'll visit again later this week. But the kids seem to be settling in. When I saw them last week, they were happy and appeared to be in good spirits and good shape.
Okay. Do they still have some regular contact with the grandparents?
Is that a question for me, Judge?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. I did stop by a week ago or 2 weeks ago when I did the placement and saw the grandmother and had her sign her her paperwork, and encouraged her to stay in touch with the parents and the kids. And I believe that when I visited last week, the parents told me that they did call her and let the kids talk to her, and that they were going to visit and maintain that contact, which we certainly encourage, because that will help ease this transition. And I know grandma misses the kids and the kids miss grandma.
Yeah, I mean, she's been playing a very important role for the children. So I just hope that moving forward, whatever we're doing today, that parents will continue that and continue that, what should be a very close relationship anyway, as a grandparent. Okay, so we're 2 weeks in and no problems. That's good. Parents have finished everything up. Is that correct?
Francisco just has some more CareNet classes that he's doing, which he did complete 4 last week, and he has 4 more that are in his possession now that he's working on. And then after he does those 4, he has 3 others, and then he'll be done.
Okay.
And Marisol has completed her classes, so really the CareNet is the only thing left for Francisco.
And I think I read in the report that mom is not working this summer to be able to stay home with the children while they're out of school. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge. And in the fall, because of the way that Juliana's birthday falls after September 1st for turning 4, she will not go to pre-K until next year. So Juliana will either need to be in daycare or will need to be home with Marisol in the fall. But Irene will be in kindergarten this coming fall.
Okay. All right. Is the family doing okay with the one income?
They seem to be doing well. They've been in the same housing now, which is rent control department, since October of last year. And I believe the rent is less than $100 a month. So it's a pretty good deal for them. And I know that they've told me that they're able to meet all their needs. And Francisco is working at a steady job that's, I think, probably paying him more than any other job from what he told me that he's had before. So he seems to be happy there and doing well.
All right, good. Okay. Let me just ask council, anybody have any questions they want to ask Mr. Coble?
I do not. I think I've read the reports and everything. I think everything's pretty self-explanatory, Judge.
Yeah, I don't have anything either.
Judge, I would ask just one question for Mr. Coble. Tim, can you tell us what things you would be continuing to monitor and why you think those need to be monitored if we're continuing on a monitored return?
Yes. This is a young family with young kids, and there were some ups and downs in this case prior to now before things really got rolling and on track. And they do live 30 minutes away from the nearest family, and they don't have a large support system. So we want to monitor not in a punitive way, but as a way to partner with them to make sure that they have everything that they need and that everything continues to go smoothly.
And Mr. Coble, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, we're usually looking at about, 60 to 90 day period of time that we are monitoring a family.
Yes, Judge. I think what we would like to do is weekly monitoring for 60 days and then cut it back to a couple times a month. And then, 90 to 120 days, we're usually out.
Okay. All right.
And another reason for the monitoring, I know that Irene has a couple of healthcare appointments in July and in August, and we can monitor that to make sure that that goes okay and that she makes it to her appointments, and then making sure that she gets registered for school, which will probably be, the registration will probably be the end of July, and make sure that those records are transferred and that school starts smoothly. She has speech therapy that she was in when she was in Memphis. So we want to make sure that that speech therapy gets transferred over and that she gets that service at the new school.
All right. So the department at this point is just wanting to monitor in a supportive role and make sure that the family has access to resources that they need and that kind of thing.
That's
we
correct.
do.
I didn't hear that.
Mr.
That was
Nahara?
Yeah.
We didn't hear what you said, Mr. Nahara.
I was gonna say we do have those type of resources, and we got more like support now than we did when we started. So we do kind of have like people who like show us to do stuff and help us when we need stuff. and we always see their grandparents. Like, well, when we try to at least, but we always have their support always, and you know, we met some more people along the way. So
Okay, and that's all good. That's all great. All right. Then, Mr. Barfield, you know, we've got two options today: monitor, return, or dismissal. So, Mr. Barfield, you want to address?
Obviously, I believe my client would like a dismissal today. She obviously is going to cooperate with whatever the court decides to do. I think they've made significant progress, and based on the report, I do think they've established a support system and everything. But I mean, we would prefer a dismissal today, but certainly, you know, if the court decides otherwise, I think, you know, my client would certainly, you know, abide by whatever the court decided.
All right, and Ms. Molinax?
And Mr. Nahara would like the case dismissed. His belief is that this case would have been moved along further if Mr. Koval hadn't have done some things he had done. And if Mr. Nahara, if you want to hear from him about that, I don't mind him telling you, but he would like to have the case dismissed. He doesn't believe there should be a monitored return.
All right, and Ms. Seal?
Your Honor, at this point, it appears the monitored return does seem to be more in a supportive manner. But I do agree that Marisol and Francisco have made great strides since the beginning of this case. In the last 4 to 6 months, things have really smoothed out, and I think they've done well. But at this point, I don't think the monitored return hurts anyone by going ahead and allowing the department to still continue for just a little longer to make sure all the transition is good.
All right, thank you. And CASA?
Yes, Your Honor. I agree with what everybody's saying. The parents have made a ton of progress. I think either way that it goes, it's going to be great. Obviously, I will continue to stay on the case and visit. I was there this past weekend and everything is going really well. But I understand their concerns for wanting the dismissal.
All right, so because it's just been 2 weeks, what I would like to do is have the department monitor for another 30 days. If we have no, you know, issues, hiccups, problems, anything like that, then at that time I would consider a dismissal. That's a little shorter than normal, Mr. Misnahara, quite frankly, you know, but you know, I've been getting a lot of good reports over the last several months about how well you all have been doing. So, you know, let's just hang in there for another 30 days and let everybody make sure you guys have got in place what you need. You know, it's always a big transition when kids come home. You know, it's a transition for them. It's a transition for you all. You know, everybody's happy, and it's kind of the honeymoon phase when everybody first gets back together, and then kids start being kids and they start, you know, pushing buttons and pushing boundaries and all of that. And then, you know, that's kind of when the hard work has to go into play. In other words, the things you guys have learned over the last year and a half, that's when you got to draw on those things and implement and, you know, demonstrate what you've learned. And so I think it's just a little new. I mean, 2 weeks is it's just a little early for me to be comfortable with letting everybody just walk away. So let's earmark it for about 30 days. Miss Katie, can we squeeze something in real, you know, about that time frame? If it's not right 30 days exactly, that's fine. If it's 35, if it's so in order to do that, I'm going to grant the monitored return, obviously, but I want to take a look at where we're at, you know, in roughly 30 days.
Hall County Day is July the 24th. Is that too soon?
No, that's close enough.
Okay.
So let's just set it on the 24th and everybody get back together for a few minutes. As long as there's no issues, no problems, then, you know, we'll get out at that point in time.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. So
Will that be the morning docket, Judge?
Oh, Ms. Katie?
Yes.
Okay, 9 o'clock docket. All right, so I appreciate everybody shuffling around today, and so everybody's free to go, but I will enter the monitored return and continue placement for parents.
Thank you, Judge. That was the only hearing I had in your court today, so may I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you.
Okay.
Luck, Jean.
Great day.
Thank you,
Judge.
Judge. I have one at 2:15, I think. And I'm going to try to take a break to get back on. I don't know if I'll be able to. It's that Sheffield one.
Right.
It's the only issue is going to be Sierra's placement, I think.
Okay. I had a feeling. Yeah.
And so I'll try my hardest. If I'm not, I'm fine with everybody else's, but hers we need to deal with.
Okay. Well, we can try to, wait for you for just a few minutes or something, or if you want to just shoot Rachel an email and kind of give her a heads up.
Yeah, I can let her know what's happening. I'll try to take a break, but if I can't, I'll at least let you guys know what's going on.
We're really here to
Sure,
just
I understand.
pick up the other three
Thank you.
children today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We are here for a review hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties, and we're live streaming, and Ms. Galvan is taking our record. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Thank you, Your Honor. Eugene Graff on behalf of the department, and we are prepared to proceed and call ready.
Okay, and Ms. Molinax, like I said, she might get logged in with us. I don't know, but she was in a different proceeding. So, Casa?
Casa is present. Heather Overmiller is the worker.
Sorry, I'm here.
Let's talk about, why don't we talk about Aaron first? Seems like Aaron's doing pretty well.
Yeah, and I'll defer to Ms. Karen. She's the permanency specialist from St. Francis, also present. If she could go ahead and address the court, that'd be great.
Yes, Aaron's doing very well in his placement. We are working on getting him on TARE so he could get adopted with Kaylee. We are working on his birth certificate as well. I just checked on that earlier this morning. I haven't got a response back yet. But he's doing pretty good.
Okay. All right. And how about Kaylee?
She's doing well. They just got back from a trip in Colorado, and there were some vapes that were found, but Kaylee said she didn't use them, that they were the girl that she's staying with, and she didn't need a drug screen or anything. One was a THC, one was a nicotine, but she said she was just covering for the girl, which she's pretty honest about that now, knowing, that she could lose her placement and such. But she's doing well. We're working on TARE for her as well. They both want to be adopted together since they've been spending time just them. So hopefully we can find a good home for both of them.
Okay. And Sierra is still maintaining she doesn't want to be adopted with siblings.
No, she does not. I haven't been able to talk to her dad. I've tried reaching out. I mean, I'll even text something in Spanish to try and get him to respond. So I don't have anything there, and I can't list her on TARE since he has rights in tax still. But we are looking at moving her placements, as I have issues with not I have issues, but there's issues with the placement.
Okay. Well, I'm disappointed that he's not maintaining contact with us.
I am as well.
Okay, so what are our placement issues?
The placement doesn't really contact me about a lot of things, and there are incidents that happen that they don't think are serious incidents, but I feel like any type of fight is. So I guess there's altercations. Sierra's getting in. I mean, if she didn't start it, it doesn't matter. She was in it. But they didn't even contact me about like the little ones, I mean, just because she's not physically hurt doesn't mean that she's not dealing with something. So there's an issue there with the communication.
All right. And she's in Houston, right?
Yes, in Richmond.
Yeah. Okay. And the big city was maybe not all it was cracked up to be.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. So what are we looking at?
There's not any options right now. Oh my goodness, the ranch won't take her back, obviously, due to her behaviors. She hasn't been doing drugs or anything, but there's fights. Like, again, I said, I don't know if she's caused all of them. I've had to request multiple times for the incident reports. So I don't know exactly. We are still looking. They've been looking for about 2 weeks now. So not sure.
Any hope she might qualify for the QRTP in region?
I think we're looking at it. I'll get with the placement coordinator that I've got. They just switched it to another one, so I'll ask her if she qualifies for the QRTP. So I'd like for her to be closer. So
yeah, I keep hoping that she's going to kind of have a change of heart about all of this with her siblings. And has anybody kind of gotten to the root of where that's coming from?
On the siblings,
Mm-hmm.
Before she left the ranch, they were talking about Sierra was really bullying Kaylee, and Kaylee was having some depression issues due to that. I mean, I know that siblings fight and such, but she was being like blaming Kaylee for them being in care. So Kaylee was getting depressed and suicidal. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get her to stop. And that I don't know why Sierra was being that way, but since we've moved Sierra from those other two, they're doing better.
Okay. Okay, well, I don't know what else to suggest other than what we've talked about. See if she won't qualify for that. How does she feel about coming back to this region? Has anybody even talked to her about that?
She's just asked me where she would be going and if I've talked to her dad. She's not against moving. She just doesn't. I mean, she doesn't want to be in the middle of nowhere like she was before. But I mean, we don't have very many options for her.
Yeah. Okay.
Judge, when I've talked to her several times, and I know I think she is definitely regretting asking to be moved where she is. She has been in tears multiple times saying she just misses her brother and her sister and wishing she could come back to the ranch or near that area. She's very unhappy where she is.
Okay.
And there's been several, like Shay said, altercations. I know there was an issue on her birthday when I talked to her and someone had brought her a cake and another girl had thrown the cake and ended up in a fight, and there was not much that was done in consequence, according to her at the placement. And this was not the first time that her and this girl has had an altercation. So they will not return my calls or emails as well. So I've only been able to talk to her through the phone because they will not respond to do video calls with her.
All right. Well, I'm all in favor of making a change. I don't ever like it when we don't have access to our kids. So, I guess we'll see what we can come up with.
Yes, and I'll email the placement coordinator and let her know that you would like to look at the QRTP, and see if we can do that. And maybe they could do in-person visits too. So
yeah, I mean, they would be pretty close.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, okay. And, maybe if she does well there, then maybe we could get her back at the ranch.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then. Well, for today, then I guess continue the department as permanent managing conservator of all the kids. continue placements, but we'll actively look for new placement for Sierra. And our next review hearing is scheduled for December 19th of 2024 on a 9 o'clock docket. I know that's a long way away. So Ms. Cairns, if, Ms. Overmiller, if we have issues brewing, particularly with any of the kids, but particularly with Sierra, if we need to get together before that, you all just let Miss Katie know and we'll get something set up. That's a long, long way away.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I could set another hearing and say 90 days, but still, when we're talking about changing placement, that's still a long time. So let's just see what happens. And if we need to talk about anything, then we'll squeeze it in somewhere. All right.
I know Ms. Mullinax, as Your Honor is aware, had also had concerns about that. So I'm sure she'll be in touch with the parties on that issue as well.
Yeah. She had expressed that, that mainly this was about Sierra's placement and that we had some problems. So she didn't go into any detail with me, but just that we had some problems to talk about today.
Yes, and sorry, Judge. The Uncle Thomas was wanting to have him try to adopt them, but he's the one who had them over the weekend that they were missing with Mom. I had talked to Erin and she said she wasn't wanting to really look at him since he is still in contact with Mom. How do you feel about that? I just wanted to make sure we were.
Well, I would have grave concerns about his ability to protect the kids, or keep the kids from Mom.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to run it by you and let you know.
We all know how she's like a trying to stop a locomotive. Yeah, I know we're on YouTube, but she's very, very persistent and doesn't take no for an answer. And so I would just have a real concern about it. Is he still living in that area?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have a lot of misgivings about that. Not saying anything against the man. I'm just, there aren't a lot of forces, I think, that are strong enough to control to what lengths mother might go. Maybe just put it that way.
Yes, ma'am.
If anybody disagrees with that, feel free to say so, but that would be my concern.
And I was able to get the track medals for Kaylee. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes. That's all I got, though.
Well, that's better than nothing. And I mean that is a example of what I'm saying. I mean, it's. I don't think that. Look, I think she has a very warped sense about what is in the best interest of the children. So, I don't know. It would make me very nervous. I mean, Casa, how do you all feel about that?
I do have the same concerns. I know, I believe this is the same person. They did come and attend Maisie's graduation and were very supportive and very excited to see them. Because I was there as well and they had a good interaction together. But like you said, there's that huge concern of, if they were involved in the beginning of not being able to stop her having contact or other things.
I mean, Shay, what are your thoughts?
I didn't want to consider him due to that. And I mean, he thought that we were going to traffic the children too. So I just wanted to run it by you to make sure I covered all my bases, especially whenever it comes to telling him. So I don't want to send them there. I mean, Aaron and Kaylee are excited to be adopted. Sierra still wants to go with her dad, but we can't do that right now. So
Yeah. Not unless he wants to work with us, you know?
Yes.
I really was hoping he was going to.
And I think the two that Kaylee and Aaron are doing so well and they're like getting on the right track. I would hate to disrupt that and then it not work out, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're doing so well. I would hate to change the course of what they are going, where they're at right now.
Yeah, they've obviously gone through some acceptance of of where they are in life and how to move forward, and if they're excited about potential adoption. I kind of hate to derail all that. If he lived in a different community, I mean, or if he lived even several hours away or something, I don't know. I just feel like that's putting the kids back in, I don't know, just in a whole arena of bad memories and dysfunction, and I'm just not in favor of it. So I think we move forward with unrelated adoption.
Yes, ma'am.
And we don't have anybody else. I mean,
no.
So, okay.
Yes, and I just wanted to make sure you were good with that.
Yeah. I am.
Okay.
I would be very, very, very uncomfortable about that. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you all very much and have a good rest of your afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Judge. You too.
Okay.
We'll see you in the morning. I think I have you in a tomorrow morning hearing.
I'll be there. Mr. Gruff, have you gotten anything on from the Court of Appeals yet on this? I haven't seen anything. I just thought I'd check because
The department's brief was filed and we got a letter, I think last night, saying it had been accepted.
Okay.
I hadn't seen that. I think Mr. Alvey's handling that portion of the appellate unit, so I'm a little bit out of that loop, Your Honor.
I just was curious because we hadn't seen anything, so I kind of wondered where in the process it was.
Yeah, and I think it's actually, I don't think it's Todd. I think it's somebody, one of the people down in Austin.
Yeah, probably Leslie Capace's unit.
It's Carolyn Caro, and the appellee's brief was filed on Wednesday, December 18th, so yesterday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And I can forward that to Rachel if you need me to.
No, I just, that tells me kind of what I need to know. We're getting closer, in other words. We are here on a review hearing. We are also here on a QRTP decision. And with respect to May, we're here for a review under extended foster care because she has reached 18. So
I think we didn't agree to order on that one. Hers.
I think that's correct. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So we're really just here to have a review hearing on the three younger children, Aaron, Kaylee, and Sierra. All right, then. We'll go ahead and take everybody's announcements.
Morning, Judge Eugene Graff and Shay Cairns on behalf of St. Francis, present and ready to proceed.
And Millenax Attorney ad litem for the children, ready, Your Honor.
Okay, and Casa is present with us, and the father, Mr. Morales, whose rights were not terminated in the underlying case, is not present. Okay, so I've reviewed all the information that's been submitted, the court report and the information regarding the QRTP decision on Sierra. So what do we have new?
If we can have Ms. Karen give the court an update. Sorry, go ahead, Shay.
Apologize, Eugene.
Go ahead.
On Mr. Morales, we have relinquishment paperwork out since Sierra changed her. Yeah, it's being sent to him since Sierra doesn't want to move with him anymore. She's wanting to be adopted now, so we will look at that. Aaron, I know I haven't emailed you about that, but that was just recent. Kaylee and Aaron are actually in the family, the selection staffing for them to be adopted together. They're doing well. Sierra is almost finished with the program at the QRTP and will be moved to least restrictive. She did have a little trouble this week with a vape, though.
Have they officially lowered her level of care, or where are we at?
I think they lowered it just a little. I think she's down to not intense. What's the one right under it? Venus, I'm sorry.
Specialized?
Yes, I think I can't remember which one's which.
Yeah.
So I did get a therapist recommendation for a least restrictive, but I'm going to hold off on that just a little bit until she gets the vape issue under control. Because she just got a job, and I think that's where she got it.
Yeah, okay. But she's about to kind of finish up this program?
Yes, just a little bit earlier than most of the children there.
But we think for right now, this is where she needs to be.
Yes, until we get the vape. And there's a lot of drama, but it's just a little bit more than what most teens go through.
Was it THC?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank goodness.
All right. All right, so is it the department's position today that the QRTP is the least restrictive placement for her?
For now, yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Molinax? I guess really anything, Ms. Cairns, anything else about the other kids? I mean, everything's just going well and.
Yeah, we should have them adopted soon, so they're doing well.
Where are we kind of in that process? I mean, they're not in that legal risk home yet, are they?
No, we're doing a selection staffing, I believe, next week or week after. Depends on everybody's schedule. We're trying to line them all up since the holidays.
Okay. So, I mean, we could still be quite a while out from an adoption then.
Possibly.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Ms. Molinax, sorry.
That's fine, Judge. The kids are doing well. Talking about the adoption, obviously we're a ways out since the appellee's brief was just filed yesterday anyway. So we did get information to attend that staffing that she was talking about for the adoptive placement. I just don't think we've gotten notice of what day it is. So I think we're still working on that. As soon as Mr. Morales is relinquished, as soon as Mr. Morales relinquishes, I think we can start looking at something else for Sierra, right, Shay?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Has he indicated that he will sign those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he has.
All right. He did back at around the first part of December, and so I think Gail got the paperwork, dropped it up to get to Shay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, then Casa.
All the kids are doing very, very well. I am very proud of their progress. They've been doing well in school, doing well at home. Kaylee and Aaron are, yes, very excited about the possibility of being adopted. And things are just continuing to go well with them. Sierra had been doing amazing at her current placement. The workers there told me that she is one of the best kids there, that is, listening, following directions, not having any issues with. So she's done really good till, this week she had a little hiccup. So I'm hoping that it was a one-time thing and she will get it under control. But she was looking forward to maybe being placed in another location. And I expressed to her, you know, we've got to make those good choices to be able to have that opportunity. She's been working hard on her schooling. She told me there's a possibility she might be getting to go to school there in Lubbock. But I haven't got that all confirmed. But overall, they're all doing well, and they're all doing their placement is appropriate.
Okay, great. Well, I just have to say I'm incredibly encouraged by what I read about all the kids in light of where we started with this. I mean, it's remarkable. They've proved to be very resilient, and they've proved to, prove that they really would like a different situation. So I'm just really pleased for all the kids. And when I say kids, I include Maisie. I mean, she's just doing great. So, okay, then, with respect to Aaron, Kaylee, and Sierra, I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator. Excuse me, permanent managing conservator. I can't say that today. And we'll continue all their current placements. And we will have our next review hearing May 28th of 2025. And that'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. Okay. Appreciate y'all. And Maisie's hearing, just so everybody knows, that'll be set for that same day. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.